The Stanford Prison Experiment, one of the most famous psychological studies in human history. Conducted by a professor who then played pretend with his graduate students for 6 days and called it science. It's 1971. Stanford psychologist Philip Zimbardo wants to answer a serious question. Does a bad situation turn ordinary people evil, or are evil people just drawn to bad situations? A worthy inquiry, a noble pursuit. He decides to answer it by converting a basement hallway into a fake prison, hiring local college students for $15 a day, and then, crucially, also casting himself as the prison superintendent. Which, as anyone who has ever had a boss who got a little too into a team-building exercise knows, was already a red flag. The setup was simple: 24 students. Some randomly assigned as guards, some as prisoners. The guards got uniforms, mirrored sunglasses, and a wooden baton. The prisoners got a smock, a chain on their ankle, and a number instead of a name. Zimbardo told the guards not to use physical violence, gave them no other instructions, and then waited to see what would happen. What happened was, predictably, a lot. Within hours, some guards were already doing the thing: sleep deprivation, humiliation exercises, making prisoners clean toilets with their bare hands. One prisoner had a full psychological breakdown on day 2. Zimbardo, as the superintendent, watched this happen and kept the study going. His girlfriend, a psychologist who came to observe, had to physically tell him that what he was doing was wrong before he agreed to shut it down on day 6. He had planned for 2 weeks. Here is the part they usually skip in the textbooks. Zimbardo coached the guards. Recordings and interviews that emerged decades later showed a research assistant explicitly telling the guards that they should be tougher, more aggressive, more intimidating. Several prisoners who were distressed said they understood they were supposed to act distressed. One of the most cited prisoners, the one who had the breakdown, later said he had been faking to try to get released early. He had correctly understood that the study could not stop unless something dramatic happened. He was also a psychology student who had read similar research. He was not having a breakdown. He was gaming the experiment. Zimbardo published the results anyway, presented it as definitive proof that ordinary people will commit atrocities when given institutional power. It became required reading in psychology courses worldwide. It was cited by a Pentagon inquiry into Abu Ghraib. It was turned into a Hollywood movie. It had a sample size of 24 undergraduate men from a Palo Alto college campus in 1971, who had been told what to do by the researcher, who was also the character in his own study. The Stanford Prison Experiment did teach us something important about human psychology. It just turns out that something was mostly about how far a man will go to protect a study he really likes. The answer, apparently, is 6 days, 1 girlfriend, and about 50 years of peer review.